home in the playoffs. Steph and company playing in front of the home crowd. Jason Tatum was terrible shooting last night. Steph was not. Historically hot early on, hitting three after three.
Yeah, you can't let him walk into one like that to start the game, and then here you get the switch. Grant Williams not up, and they let Steph Curry get into his rhythm early in the game. Here, once again, miscommunication on a down screen, and he was cooking to get that crowd going.
6 threes in the first quarter, a finals record, and now on to the third. They had 38 points in the third quarter. Curry with the floater.
Hit him any which way. He had him from deep early, and then he got the mid-range and the drives going in the second half.
Andre Iguodala getting into the act off the assist from Jordan Poole. He drops a three. Things aren't looking good for the Celtics. The Warriors are up by 12 at the end of 3 legs. And then what the heck happened?
Yeah, best third quarter team in the league. They established control. You think it's going to be status quo, and then this happens. One of the two stars had to get hot eventually. It was Jalen Brown at the start of the quarter that really got their offense going.
Brown has 10 points, 5 assists in the fourth quarter alone. And how about that midseason pickup, Derek White?
What an amazing postseason he has had for the Boston Celtics. Incredible, really, after the birth of his first child. Derek White hasn't missed a shot since, I don't think. And then, of course, the vet Al Horford, what a postseason run he has had as well. Big threes down the stretch.
Yeah, in his first finals game, Horford leads the Celtics in scoring. Now they're on a 9-0 run. Look at Steve Kerr.
I feel you, Steve.
This.
I don't know either.
Oh, man, they hit 9 threes in the fourth. That's a 14-0 run right there.
Great ball movement, sharing it. Jason Tatum, give him credit, man. He did not have his night shooting the basketball, but his playmaking was really a huge difference maker. Take advantage of the way the Warriors were playing him.
Yeah, he had 13 assists, a career high, and Horford's first ever finals game. Triumphant 26 points, 6 rebounds. Curry finished with 34 and 5 boards. Here's Ime Udoka after the Celtics win.
Yeah, that's kind of who we've been all year. Tough grinders, resilient group that we can always know we can rely on our defense to kind of buckle down when needed. Impressive against a really elite scoring team.
They hit 21 threes, and Marcus Smart, Al Horford, and Derek White combined for 15 of them.
My gut reaction, just what I just witnessed, was they just came in, played a hell of a fourth quarter, and you got to give them credit. And it's pretty much as simple as that.
The Celtics turned up the heat over those final 12 minutes. They outscored Golden State 40-16. That 24-point margin is the largest in any quarter of any NBA Finals game in history. And those 9 threes that I referenced, that was tied for the most in any quarter in NBA history. Back with legs, back with Vince Carter. First team ever to win by double digits after trailing by double digits entering the fourth. What the heck happened?
Yeah, listen, I'm sitting there saying, to quote Anchorman, Will Ferrell Anchorman, that really escalated quickly out there. I mean, that's really what I felt like, Vince. Watching that, I'm sitting there saying, okay, third quarter, the Warriors did what they normally do. They established control. And look, Steph Curry sits down at the start of the fourth. And now you think this is where Golden State's defense sort of keeps the lead, because their defense is elite too, but that's not what happens at all. Boston Celtics role players stepped up, knocked down every shot. Look, they were overloading to Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown, and they took advantage of it. They moved the basketball well, but a lot of these looks are open, uncontested three-point shots, and give those guys credit because they towed them up and they knocked them down. I thought Jalen Brown, Vince, was the key to the entire thing because he got his game rolling in the start of the fourth quarter. Individually, really, just doing everything off the bounce, got to his mid-range, got to the rim. He carried them and kept their head above water, and then the three-point shooting took over the game. But by the way, simultaneously, they shut the Warriors down completely during that stretch, and you get a 40-16 fourth quarter. I don't think anybody could believe really how stark that contrast was in the fourth based on what we had just seen in the previous quarter.
I mean, Vince, how stunning was it from your perspective?
It was stunning, and you asked what the heck happened. You look at that highlights, and what was the common denominator? They played a small lineup. They put Al Horford at the 5. And putting Al Horford at the 5, yes, he's able to post up. He can work in the post, but it opened the floor up a little bit, and now you see the drive, the drift to a swing, wide open 3. Kevon Looney is still in the paint, trying to find somewhere to go. There's another swing. Kevon Looney in the paint, and the help, open 3s. And now, here's again, double team. Marcus Smart swing, gets into the paint. now Al Horford's able to work into the paint. So those are the things right there that was the difference for me in the fourth quarter, because the floor was now wide open. And Al Horford's ability to shoot the three, but yet Golden State's bigs, they had to help, because Jalen Brown was in attack mode. Help usually come from their bigs, swing, open threes. And that was the difference maker as opposed to what we saw in the first three quarters.
Yeah, and the Warriors had the rebounding edge early until down the stretch. Draymond Green, when they went to that smaller lineup, he only has 1 rebound in the fourth. Would you like them to stay with that bigger lineup looking ahead to game 2?
I thought one of their biggest weapons in the first half was the offensive rebounding with Kevon Looney. I mean, they were punishing the Celtics. I call those chaos points against Golden State. They kill you when you give up a second shot, because typically defensively, when that ball comes off the glass and now you get an offensive rebound, you're nowhere near the guy that you were guarding at the start of the possession, and you're scrambling out.
Right.
And that's when Golden State punishes you. And that actually was a concern for me, to think Golden State was down 2 and a big majority of their offense was coming off the offensive glass. I thought that might be a bad sign. But then the third quarter happened, and I thought, okay, no, they're going to be fine in this game. But I do like Kevon Looney out there with Draymond. I think he played so well on the offensive glass in the Dallas series. Now, this is a guy that's got to come in and give you those second chance points. He also is a guy that's a pick and roll threat as well. They sort of lost that because Draymond was at the top of the key the entire fourth quarter.
You agree, Vince?
Yeah, I like the bigger lineup when you have Robert Williams in as well, and you see the adjustment that they made was now going smaller, putting Kevon Looney in situations where, are you going to help or are you going to stay home on a shooter of Al Horford, who was hot? Now, if Al Horford's not hitting those shots, Kevon Looney is more essential to your team, and I think he's more effective in having him on the floor at the time when they needed to really combat that three-point line and get a hand out and make them swing the ball another time. That was kind of the difference.
Listen, we know we're going to see adjustments coming up in game 2, but let's take a step back and talk about Steph Curry, who had that historic 6 3-pointers in the first quarter. He scores 21 points, highest scoring finals quarter since Michael Jordan back in 1993. But then Curry cooled off considerably after that. Just 5 of 10 from the field against Marcus Smart, just 2 of 6 after the first quarter. So he has, after that, more shots than points. 16 shots, 13 points. What happened there, Tim?
Well, a couple things. I think, first of all, you saw the looks he got at the beginning of the game. I mean, those were breakdowns on the part of the Boston Celtics. Clearly, they targeted him coming into the game, and they just let him get loose early. They made that adjustment from that point on. And if you go look at the fourth quarter offensively, and particularly for Golden State, everything they did was getting pushed out beyond the three-point line. And they got away a little bit from their style. They didn't make Boston pay for extending that far on shooters. Typically, when you're going to get 2 guys jump out on Clay, 2 guys jump out on Steph, somebody's going to get hit in the middle of the floor on a slip, and now you're going to play 3-on-2 basketball, and it's going to be a lob, it's going to be a kick out to a corner 3. And I just felt like Boston got so physical with them and pushed them so far out, it looked like really their legs were taken from them. I thought Steph got extremely tired toward the end of that game while Boston was making that run. He looked a little bit worn down. And look, Marcus Smart and physical defense will do that to you. So they got away from who they are in the fourth quarter. But you have to credit the Boston Celtics for why that happened. It's the best defensive team in the NBA.
Wait, is this an age situation? Is this because Golden State was rested coming into this, Vince? They had a week off. Meanwhile, they're playing a team that went in back-to-back 7 games.
I don't know about age. I mean, I think these guys are still capable. I mean, sitting off 1 week is tough to bounce back and just get back into this type of atmosphere. But one of the things I think happened second quarter, Steph gets his 3rd foul and he has to sit. And then the adjustment I think Boston made offensively is putting Steph back in the pick and roll and making him guard multiple efforts. He wasn't going to switch on a lot of the pick and rolls, so he would show and have to get back. Well, if you notice on a lot of the shows, it wasn't a slip, but they threw to the man that Steph was guarding, and he had to guard the action and his guy. And I think that kind of got into his legs, which we did not see in the first half and really most of early in the third. But late in the third, mostly in the fourth, they started making him guard multiple actions to wear him down. And I think that got into his legs in the fourth quarter with the Marcus Smart tough defense.
So here's the thing. The Celtics, they got help from players other than the Jays, right?
Oh, yeah.
Steph did not. All right, so his supporting
Absolutely.
cast was outscored in relation to Jason Tatum's by 34 points.